Hi, my name is John Olsheimer, and I'm a credit expert who contributes to creditcardinsider.com. If you have any questions for us, please submit them in the comments section below. Today's question is kind of lengthy, so I'm going to have to read it. It's a really good one. Which credit report do credit card issuers look at? And then a follow-on is, how do different credit reports generate different credit scores? Is that actually true? Can they differ? And can the difference in credit scores affect my chances of getting a credit card application approved? Really good questions. So the answer to the question is absolutely yes. When you apply for a credit card, the credit card issuer is going to pull one of your credit reports and they're going to get one of your credit scores. Despite the fact that you have 3 credit reports and you have dozens and dozens of scores, the issuer is generally going to make their decision based on only one of the reports and only one of the scores. And that's going to either be a FICO score or it's going to be a Vantage score, credit score. And they're essentially going to build their underwriting policies around that score. So if you have a score that's higher than their minimum standards, you're going to get approved for something. If you have a score that falls below their minimum standards, you're going to be denied something. The question regarding which report do the issuers look at, you're not going to know. You're not going to know up front because that's not generally something that credit card issuers disclose on their websites or in their customer service materials or in their pamphlets that you can grab at the bank branch for credit card applications. Look, it's not national security, so you could certainly call the bank and ask them, hey, look, I'm about to apply for a credit card with you. Which credit reporting agency do you use for your credit cards? And you may get an answer, you may not get an answer. The larger the bank, meaning if you're applying for a card with a bank that does business nationally, someone like a Citibank or a Wells Fargo or a Bank of America or a Chase or a Capital One. Someone who lives in Miami can apply for a credit card with all of them. Someone who lives in Anchorage, Alaska can apply for a card with them. And then everybody who's in between can also apply for credit cards with them. Generally speaking, they're going to have what's referred to as a bureau preference table, which means that based on where you live, it is going to determine what credit report they are going to pull for your application. For someone who lives in the Southeast, they may feel more comfortable pulling their Equifax credit report. For someone who lives on the West Coast, they may feel more comfortable pulling their Experian credit report. For someone who lives in the Northeast, they may feel more comfortable pulling their TransUnion report. You're not going to know because, frankly, they may not know. The customer service people you talk to may not know because where you live could determine what report they use. And generally, that's not something that most employees at the bank know, how they have their bureau preferences set up. The issue of a different score is absolutely true. In my 24 some odd years in this business, I have seen one example of someone who had the same credit score across all 3 credit reporting agencies. One. And that's after looking at hundreds of thousands of credit reports in my time. So it's very likely that your score is going to be different, and you're not necessarily going to know what those differences are unless you're very tuned into your credit reports and scores, which is not that difficult to do. There's a lot of places where you can get your credit reports and a lot of places where you can get free credit scores and you can kind of compare. And it can actually lead to what I refer to as strategic shopping or strategic application, because if you know that your Equifax credit report is going to yield the highest score, then obviously you're going to want to apply for credit somewhere that pulls your Equifax report because you're putting your best foot forward. You're more likely to get approved. You're more likely to get a good deal if the lender is seeing the best report. Conversely, if you know that the information on your TransUnion report isn't necessarily as good and the score is going to be lower, you're going to want to, if possible, avoid lenders that pull a TransUnion credit report because you know you're not putting your best foot forward and the decision you get back from them may not be favorable to you. Pick up the phone, call the issuer before you apply, and just simply ask them, hey, look, what credit report do you use? I live here. I'm applying for this card. What credit report are you going to buy? And if they're going to tell you which one, then that's fantastic. Then you'll know. You can pull that report and you'll see the same exact information that they're about to see. So you know whether you should avoid that issuer or go ahead and pull the trigger and fill out the application. So if you have any other questions pertaining to credit or financial topics, then please submit them to creditcardinsider.com or in the comments section below. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day.